Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you and our viewers on YouTube to the January 22nd meeting of the Charlotte County Airport Authority, and call to order and ask that you please turn off your cell phones. And we'll start with an invocation. Mr. Commissioner Thornberry.
Heavenly Father, we are so grateful for this new year and all the hard work and successes that we've had to this point. We ask you to continue to bless our airport, our staff, our users, our operators, and of course the citizens that we serve. We ask you to guide this meeting, our discussions and decisions, all to your will and glory. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Roll call.
Morning, everyone. Mr. Leskovich?
Here.
Mr. Swellen?
Here.
Mr. Hackett?
Here.
Mr. Hanzig?
Here.
Mr. Parrish?
Here.
Mr. Thornberry?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, I also like to acknowledge Councilwoman Polk from the city of Punta Gorda is in our audience this morning. Agenda item 5, citizen input. Anyone wishing to address the Airport Authority on an agenda item, please come forward and identify yourself, and then we'll address your concerns at the time of the agenda item. Seeing the big rush coming up, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is any additions or deletions to the agenda.
Going to remove 12D.
Okay. I don't think we need we just need to take it off. Yeah. Any employee recognition this morning?
I think we've
Wow.
got a few.
That's not any, that's many. Wow. You know, that's great to see that, you know, shows that we got people like working here and they stick around. Steve?
Good morning, board. Ryan Edmondson, manager of safety and security. I'll read this off. As the manager of safety and security, I'm proud to announce and recognize Katie Getzler's 5 years of service with the Charlotte County Airport Authority. Katie currently serves as a credentialing specialist at PGD, and she has been an essential part of our badging operation within safety and security. Many people may not realize the extensive effort and responsibility that our badging department carries to ensure every individual requesting an airport badge meets TSA and federal regulations. This work includes renewing badge applications, renewals, facilitating required security training, maintaining secure records that contain sensitive personal information. Katie constantly goes above and beyond in her role and is regarded by her peers as a role model and a source of knowledge whenever questions arise. And during my time here at CCAA, Katie recently received her performance evaluation from me, in which once again she exceeded expectations. It hasn't always been easy for Katie. She has shown remarkable resiliency by balancing personal medical challenges while raising her son with her husband Joe. She's a top performer in the badging department. So I want to sit here and congratulate Katie on her 5 years.
What's interesting to note about her job, she has touched every employee on this airport.
Antenna,
Several times in some cases.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brett White, Chief Development Officer. I'd like to introduce Glenn DiSabatino. He's our new project manager in the projects department. As you're aware, and you're also here for the development report, we are awfully busy with a lot of development, construction on the property, so it is great to have him. He comes to us with 42 years in the aviation industry. He started his career off at Tampa International Airport and then went on to BWI in Baltimore, and we are lucky enough to have him here with us now. Glenn is a accredited airport executive with CCAA, which some of us here on staff, we do have some of those, but I just want to welcome Glenn and introduce him to the board, and he'll be around the office and helping us with the projects. All right?
Welcome.
Who's doing the next one?
Curtis?
That'd be JR.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners, and good morning, James. I'm really happy to announce that we have a new IT member to our team. Actually, our team is growing. His name is Cortis Lehman. He is going to be our Assistant Administrator for the CCAA, so we're really happy to have him on board.
And we may have
Thank
stolen
you.
him from far law firms. I don't know.
We keep it at the family.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. So today, I'd like to recognize Nicole Polis on her well-deserved promotion. Nicole joined the airport almost a year ago. I think in February it'll be a year she joined as our lease administrator, a role in which she worked closely with all of our T-hangar tenants. It's no small task managing more than 240 annual lease renewals, ensuring tenant compliance with all of our rules and regulations, lease terms, and most importantly, listening and addressing any of their concerns. Beyond her core responsibilities, Nicole also led the implementation of our new property management system, helping us respond more effectively to all of our tenant needs. She successfully integrated a lot of other systems that will work hand in hand with that system as well to ensure that everything just operates efficiently. So with Wendy's retirement, promoting Nicole to the Properties and Contracts Manager position, that was a very easy decision. She's already doing an exceptional job leading the department. So congratulations, Nicole. I'm grateful to be working with you in your new role. So congratulations. Tammy. So, with Nicole's promotion, we had a vacancy in the lease administrator position, and some of you may know Tammy, but I'm happy to share with you that we were able to promote someone from within the organization, someone who's no stranger to this type of work. Tammy Coleman, she started working here at the airport in 2018, and next week will make her 8-year anniversary, so congratulations on that. Tammy began her career at the airport as the FBO administrator back in 2018, where part of her responsibilities included managing T-hangar leases and assisting tenants with all of their concerns. For the past 3.5 years, she has been a key member of our finance department as a finance technician, handling accounts payable, fixed assets, fuel reconciliation, and several other important tasks as well. So we are pleased to announce that Tammy is now transferred into the lease administrator position, where she will once again work directly with all of our tenants, managing leases and ensuring compliance. She'll certainly be missed in the finance department, I know that, but we are excited to have her stepping back into the role where her experience and customer service skills will certainly shine. So congratulations, Tammy, and we're happy to have you in this new position.
Good morning, Commissioners. James. Had some printer difficulties this morning, so bear with me. First, I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to recognize some of our stellar employees. And today, I'd like to recognize Wesley Woolfolk. I'm pleased to announce that he has been promoted to the Airside Operations Duty Manager. Wesley's consistently demonstrated exceptional professionalism, sound judgment, and strong leadership across the airside operations. Over the past several years with us, he's been instrumental in maintaining the highest standards of safety and efficiency on the apron, the movement areas, while effectively coordinating with multiple stakeholders during both routine and high-pressure situations. His calm demeanor, deep operational knowledge, and genuine commitment to supporting his colleagues have earned him the respect of the staff and tenants of the airport. This well-deserved promotion reflects Wesley's sustained excellence and the confidence that we have in his ability to lead the airside operations team during an exciting period of growth for the airport. Please join me in congratulating Wesley Woolfolk. And so this morning I have another outstanding member of our team, Giorgio Angelino. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize one of his accomplishments for obtaining his Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Sciences with concentration in Aerospace Administration from Polk State College. This program builds on deep operational knowledge of the aerospace industry, covering critical areas such as airport planning, design, airline and airport operations, safety management systems, and strategic leadership. Giorgio has shown unwavering dedication to his professional growth while simultaneously working on his degree, obtaining industry certifications, and his certified flight instructor rating. This accomplishment reflects not only his dedication to personal and professional growth, but also his commitment to bringing even greater experience to our airside team. His advanced education directly aligns with the complex demands of modern airport operations, and it strengthens our entire organization's ability to maintain the highest standard of safety, efficiency, and innovation. We're proud to have him as part of our team and look forward to the continued contributions that he'll make with his enhanced knowledge and perspective. Please join me in congratulating Giorgio Angelino.
Next page now.
Any comments by any of the commissioners? Obviously, we have a great team. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be as good as we are. You know. Anyway, moving on. Consent agenda. The chair needs a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve line item 8, the consent agenda.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Secretary Treasurer's Report, agenda item 9. Mr. Leskovich.
In my readings through the packet for today, looks like everything is going well, but I don't know if I want to tender it to Mr. Rosenstein or to Mr. Parrish.
I'm going to let our CFO
All
handle
right,
it.
sounds good.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, the revenues, or the financials are in good shape. Our revenues for the month of November are slightly below budget, as you can see, and then through November as well. Part of that's due to parking revenues didn't come in as budgeted. Some of it's also fuel revenues related, but when you look at the COGS, the cost of fuel, it kind of balances out. So I think we're in good shape as far as revenues are going. Expenses are also down. They're on their budget for the month. They're down 14%, and year to date through November, they're down 18%. So we are continuing to watch our expenses. We are starting to see revenues come back in line for the month of December. Looking into January, we'll see where they come in as well. But overall, we're doing well. Our net operating is ahead of budget, so we're happy to see that. Our balance sheet is positioned well, and our accounts receivable, we're doing well with that. We have a few on the over 90-day list of some ground transportation operators that we're continuing to work with. They're small outstanding balances.
You'll notice there's a new format for those, so if you have any questions, but I think this is more easily read than the old format. One of the things, we budget per month, especially with parking and per flight, but when you have a holiday at the very end of the month, a lot of that parking is going to come in in December. So I think that's why you're going to see that lag in parking revenue going into December. But everything looks good, and you know, the parts that we can control are the expenses, and we're going to keep those as low as possible as we move forward and as we, you know, watch the budget. So thank you. That's it.
Chad, I have one question for you. The accounts receivable over 90 days, of course, is pretty nominal. I'm not as concerned about those. There's a pretty large one for over 60 days. What's the status with that, and why is it, and what's being done to collect on that?
On the 60-day? Oh, yes. We're working with that tenant now and actually going to settle that up this month.
Okay. Is it back rent is what it is, or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're actually going to be vacating one of their hangars, and we're settling up what they owe.
And then they're going to be moving out?
No, they have 2 hangars, so they're going to consolidate into one.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Agenda item number 10, liaison reports. I'll take the first one with the City Council of Punta Gorda. I've reviewed their agenda and talked with Councilwoman, and nothing of concern as far as the airport authority is concerned. County Commissioners, John, anything?
Nothing to report other than what we already have seen, so with the water.
Yes, thank you. The Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting was pretty much business as usual. Has a few amendments to the Unified Planning Work Program as well as the Transportation Improvement Program. One of the items that came up in the meeting, or a question that came up in regards to the Challenger Road project in terms of how it affects Henry Street. And the concern was the traffic, the through traffic on Henry Street, and then possibility of a need for either a interchange light or some other traffic control device at Piper. And I had pointed out that Henry Street, once that project is finished, will not travel through. It will have a roundabout. And at the time, there was some confusion. Commissioner Constance was looking at the online and on the plan. And so since then, I have sent out to all the MPO members the latest plan that was provided by staff that indeed shows that Henry Street will not run through once that project is finished. We also had, just another item that I noted here, that the roundabout at Jones Loop and Piper has been moved to 2031 versus 2029. I understand there's more of a funding issue. And we do have a joint Sarasota-Manatee MPO meeting this coming Monday. So if there's any other questions or any comments, otherwise that will conclude my report.
Okay, thank you. Community report, Mrs. Coppola, you have?
I have nothing to report.
Understand.
Next month I have a better one.
Okay. And school board, Commissioner Raskovich.
The school, like some other, the school board, school district, like some other organizations here, have had some budgetary issues going on where they have cut back some services. James, I commend you and the staff for moving forward and being a profitable organization here, and we don't have to naturally worry about too many budgetary issues, at least at this point we don't. But that's all I have to report about the school board.
Okay. Agenda item number 11, attorney's report. Jack.
Well, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Carr. Glad to be here and assist in any way I can, but other than that, I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Moving on, agenda item number 12, our CEO's report. Mr. Parrish.
All right.
Start with you.
We'll start off with the development update, and Mr. White.
Good morning, Commissioners, again. Brett White. Get a quick rundown on the development update and where we are. If any time you have any questions, please let me know. Our golf course boulevard, Challenger Boulevard, Perimeter Road project that Commissioner Thornberry was just discussing with Henry Road. We are working towards finalizing the design on that. We're already at 75%. We have a couple different funding sources that we're currently working with to get that project funded and going. But we had a meeting this week. We're going to work on finalizing the design and possibly put that out to bid. We need to have bid-based numbers when we go in for our final grant applications. So that project is picking up steam and moving forward again. Our master drainage update, spoke with our consultant last week, and that is being finalized. I have a couple other projects that are waiting for that to be finalized so we can start with the new stormwater plan. So that should be done here soon. Currently under construction, we have our new ARF truck in here. The ARF truck is on the assembly line. They're starting to send us pictures every other week. I think I have some updated ones in this report. But that is scheduled to be delivered in March. We're going to go up there into February to the plant, do a rundown, take a look at, make sure everything's operational. But it'll be good to get that in. Our new FBO hanger, we had our pre-construction meeting a couple weeks ago. We'll be starting that next month. Everything is getting finalized, permit being picked up, building being ordered and whatnot. But that should break ground here probably next month. Our inline baggage system is getting towards completion. We still have a lot to do to get the systems operational before we go live and turn it over. They're currently working on some access control issues within the building. Staff is running bags daily, our staff, to keep the system operational. But we're hoping to get that moving along here sooner than later and try to set go live dates. Our maintenance and operations building, the canopy is completed. We're finalizing the painting and trying to start to close out with that with DOT. CTC Aviation, we had a big walkthrough yesterday. They're doing final punch lists, final finishes and painting. Final inspections being called in this week. We're hoping to have CO by the end of this month. That'll give the school less than a month to move in for our ribbon cutting scheduled in March. Perimeter Road on the south side of the airport, it's kind of a job that's forgotten about. That's going well, putting perimeter road around our fence. That will be completed at the end of this month, a portion of it. They just paved this week, the connector into the south ramp. Our commercial terminal expansion, the biggest project we have going on right now, they have started erecting the building. If any of y'all want to go out there and do a tour of it, I'll be happy to show you that. But really seeing the building being erected, you can really see how big it's going to be. But that is going well. We're starting to plan and phase some other portions of that project right now. Taxiway C reconstruction, we're doing the final striping on that. That was reopened up right before the holidays and our Christmas season. So we had the entire airfield open over Christmas. And then January 5th, we started the Taxiway Alpha reconstruction, where we shut down portions of Alpha. And soon, at the end of this month, 422 will be closed in a certain amount of time, be a couple weeks here or there, someday 20 days. But that project is going well, no issues there. The Air Center apron expansion, we had our pre-construction meeting there, and that is starting to fill in the Air Center apron next month. Still working on finalizing the schedules and start date. The goal there is to start and get as much done with that before rainy season as we can. The last one I have on the list, Building 97 replacement, which is the old Air Trek hangar building. That's been down for some time. They're doing the slab prep now, and that is scheduled to start pouring the slab next week. And the metal building and the higher power door for that project is sitting over here by the maintenance and operations building. So as soon as the slab is poured, they'll be ready to start erection on that. Any questions on anything?
I think I've asked the question before, the existing facilities for the school, they're coming down?
Yes, sir, those will be coming down.
The hangar too?
Yes, sir.
Is there a need to take it down in the near future?
Yes, sir.
Something?
Yes, so they don't put somebody else in it.
Well, I'm thinking about.
It was scheduled to come down
20 years ago.
Yes.
What we currently have is 12 spots on the ramp right now, and the only other expansion we can go is
Okay,
south.
you're gonna, where the building is, you're gonna turn that into tie down.
Probably tie downs because we need the tie downs that are currently
Correct there.
there.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Anybody else got anything? Okay.
Ms. Miller?
Good morning. Just have a few things to mention. The transition from Lamar Airport Advertising to our airport, Fly PGD Media Solutions, is going very well. We transferred almost all of the clients from Lamar over to us, and we're getting in that process right now of signing new contracts, and so things are going great with that. Thank you to Susie Smith on our team for managing that, as well as Audrey Lansky, who had worked for Lamar. Also, we installed some new screens, some new LED screens and bag claim ticketing, and it looks fabulous. So next month at our board report, I'll give you an overview of our new media kit and the offerings over there. So that's to come next month. Another new thing that we're going to be implementing on Monday is a new online search engine on our website, powered by Kayak, actually. So more than 50 airports nowadays are having on their website search engines so that travelers can look for hotel deals, cars, and flights. So it gives us an opportunity to engage our passengers more. Even though we only have Allegiant and Sun Country right now, we're always looking for more airlines, as you know, and we want people to use the website to search for flights, as well as rental cars and hotels. And this will give us good data so that we can understand where people want to go, what days of the week they want to go, and we can have more insight and data into pitching to airlines. So it's kind of part of the evolution of the airport world, is having these search engines on their website. So you'll see a news release on Monday and more information, so encourage your friends to use our website to search for travel. And also, our Aviation Gives Back is going to be wrapping up on February 10th. That is a fundraiser and employee campaign, and tenants and community members come together to support the United Way of Charlotte County, which helps our workforce and neighbors in need. So encourage everyone to attend. I have flyers, and all you need to do is go to our website, flypgd.com/UnitedWay. Anyone's welcome. They just need to RSVP to me. Everyone's welcome to donate. And we have fabulous chance auction item drawings that are going to be going on February 10th, and wonderful barbecue. So I hope all the commissioners can attend if possible, and our tenants as well as community employees. And like I said, more information is out on our website about that as well. Any other questions?
Is that a noon?
Yes.
On the 10th?
Yeah, the drawing's at 12:15. Lunch will be available from 11 to 1. So you can stop by, pick up some barbecue, and be ready for the drawings at 12:15.
And the date again, one more time.
February 10th. Yes, I'll send the commissioners a calendar appointment, and you'll start to see more reminders in your emails as well. Thank you.
All right. Mr. LaRoche?
Good morning, Board, Mr. Parrish. As Brett mentioned earlier, December, we were down a little bit in operations due to the closure of 422. That was for about half of the month in December. So total operations were down about 900 due to that closure, just with the traffic and flight schools not being able to get in and out as easily with that closed. Good news, though, finished the year with a record number of passengers. 2,282,002 passengers is about 350,000 more than we did previous year. So again, a record-breaking year for us passenger-wise. So we ended up the year up about 18.5%. Avgas gallons sold off of the truck, up 4,000 gallons in December. Again, the flight schools were operating, even though traffic was down. Avgas off the truck was up quite a bit, as has been the trend over the past year. Avgas sold at self-serve was down about 733 gallons. And again, we've had some issues with self-serve over the past month, not issues that, or in our control. The pay system has been up and down several times over the last month, so that did affect our self-serve numbers. We were giving self-serve off of the truck, though, which is why the truck numbers were up a little bit as well, so. Jet A gallons sold, pretty flat, up about 2,600, but flat across the board for the past 3 years in December. I think we're gonna see that kind of level off until the Air Center apron expansion is done, and then we'll see that start to pick back up when we have more room for larger aircraft over there. And then airline gallons pumped, obviously with the increase in air carrier operations and passenger traffic, we were up about 130,000 gallons on airline gallons pumped. So, any questions for me?
Ray, with the increase in fuel that's going up, are we going to have to, at what point are we going to have to consider more tanks?
So right now, we fluctuate, and it's based on operations. We're currently, today, we had 230,000 total on-hand gallons to start the day. That fluctuates throughout the week. We get down to around 150,000, and we can plus up on trucks, which we've done. We have the one tank that's been down due to damage for about almost a year now. That is coming back online here in the next month. And that'll give us the ability to decide at that point if we want to keep the additional trucks that we've brought online or not. It's a little bit easier to plus up with the trucks than it is to add tanks over there, but we do have the ability to increase our storage capacity in the fuel farm because of how we've positioned that with the building 103 that's over there and using that facility. We're able to have space to expand the farm. So when we get down to where we're keeping less than 3 days on hand, that's when we start to get a little bit nervous and we want to look at expanding. So we can predict that pretty well now with our fuel system, and Eric's keeping track of that on a daily
Ideally,
basis.
we'd like to have 5 days, but when you're pumping 1.7 million gallons into the airlines a month, it's hard to keep 5 days. And it's hard to get 5 days delivered. That's one of our biggest challenges. It's not a challenge for Punta Gorda, it's a challenge in Florida, is getting fuel delivered. There are no pipelines in Florida. So everything comes from the Port of Tampa, the Port of Everglades, or even Savannah.
And one of the things that we've done to help increase our on-hand average is to add staff for overnight, so we can take fuel loads 24 hours a day now. Versus in the past, we had basically a 8 to 10 hour time frame when we could take loads. And the drivers are able to get in and out of the ports a little bit quicker overnight than they are during the day. Sometimes they're waiting 6 hours in line to get a load.
And like airline pilots, they time out.
Yeah.
So, they wait 6 hours, have a 2-hour drive down here from Tampa, and they're done for the day.
So we have one tank coming back online, hopefully within a month or so.
Correct.
But we're not at the point yet where we have to consider.
No, I think if the carrier stays flat, like they've told us they're going to this year, and we see what next year's schedule looks like, we could potentially have the need to add another tank maybe in a year or two.
Okay.
Again, for us to be able to plus up quickly, Titan has trucks available that we can get from them to be able to add storage and capacity very quickly.
Thank you.
You answered one of my questions. Apparently, we have an ops guy here now 24 hours a day.
Fuel farms, so the
there's
fuel
somebody
farms
here.
staff has been increased, both in quality control and basically being able to maintain the fuel farm itself. So we've kind of separated that operation now, where there's specific people that are in charge of handling the fuel farm and filling the trucks and all of that, and then the fuelers that handle the airline, and then fuelers that handle GA. So it's very specialized in the operation now, and the team there does a great job in all 3 of those portions of the operation. So
I'm assuming if there was an ops problem, they'd pick up the phone and call somebody.
absolutely, and there's reports coming out daily from each shift that I get and Eric gets that show where we're at on fuel loads, how many were ordered, how many we've received, how many are still due in, and what the totals are so that we can monitor it multiple times a day.
Okay, and the second question is, because I'm getting a little bit of it, an evaluation on auto fuel.
Yes, so we've had a few inquiries on that. Right now, Eric is getting pricing on a Bowser to start out. One of the flight schools in particular that takes a lot of fuel has asked for it, and we have a few tenants that have asked for it. So it's not something that we were really considering because there wasn't going to be enough volume, and you don't want to let that sit. But with the flight school that's had some interest now, we're looking into starting with a Bowser on that.
Yeah, that might eliminate the 5-gallon gas cans in the hangar.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
It'll probably be a little bit more expensive, right? No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Anything else?
All right, state of the airport. This
Okay.
is my January review of everything going on at the airport. Just quickly go over what we have. 241 T-hangers, 22 in units, 263 total T-hanger units, or units out there. We have 149 total on the wait list, about 32 for the smaller T-hangers, 10, and these numbers are a month old, so they're probably slightly different. We have more on the 50 by 50s and the 60 by 60s. The cost of construction versus the rental rates is hard to justify building more, and I don't think we could rent them for what they cost. So we're kind of at a standstill on that, but we have significantly reduced the number on the T-hanger waiting list this year. Last year, I think it was over 100. So the average wait time is 9 months on the smaller T-hangers, a year on the bigger ones, and plus 5 years on the 50s and 60s. Next slide. Aviation leases, we have 23 buildings. That's going to increase as we bring a few more buildings online, 11 land leases. Total revenue for that is about $1.2 million a year, and I think I failed to say the revenue on the T-hangers is about $1.2 million a year. So net revenues on general aviation fuel, you can see we're making about $360,000, $361,000 a year on avgas. A little more on the jet fuel, $1.3 million, that's mostly itinerants. And then FBO services, that's lav carts, catering, ice, everything else we handle for the itinerant traffic that comes in through the FBO. You know, that's a service since we built the new FBO that we're really trying to increase. We have more staff, we have, you know, a nicer building, and we're seeing the services increase as people fly here that we're probably going to another airport because we just didn't have a facility. So next slide. So operations, based aircraft has been pretty flat, 414 versus 417 last year. Single engine, obviously our biggest, 357. I say this every year, but 414 based aircraft's a lot. There are airports, and I get the based aircraft reports every year from the FAA, and there are airports in the north that have 5, 6. So it's Florida, it's a great place to be, and you know, I think we have a great airport, and that's the reason we have 414 tenants on the airport with their airplanes. So.
You've got 10 helicopters?
10 helicopters, and
Is the police or?
No, that's, I think they only have 2. It's, you know, we have aerial photographers, we have just people with helicopters.
Interesting.
You know, total operations continue to rise, mostly due to the flight schools, and a little bit of a new thing is the military that last year was a little lower, but we hope this year will come back up. Have a couple of C5, our C-130s coming, not C5s, please. And you know, we'll get the Navy trainers in mid-year. But, you know, we're really happy with the GA local and GA itinerant numbers, because that was one of the things the board really pushed for us to move forward with trying to get more. And if the ones that have been on the board for a while recall that those numbers used to be in the 60,000s, not 140,000s. That not only helps with, obviously, income, but it helps with the FAA when it comes to funding for runways and taxiways. As we approach 200,000, that will probably get our second runway eligible. 1533 is not eligible for funding as we sit. We did get it funded last time because we had to close 422 for so long to completely rebuild it. And so it's a good thing, numbers going up. It's great to see. It's not always convenient, and we get those complaints, but you know, that's the goal of running an airport, is to have operations so you can justify having an airport. Next slide. Non-aviation leases. You know, we continue to try and work in the industrial park. You can see the industrial park that's owned by you know, private citizens south of us has had a little growth this year. One of the things we've really benefited from was FEMA and Florida Department of Emergency Management with Regional Homes leasing land from us after Hurricane Ian. That went away last year, so that was a big decrease in income, but we're still pushing that as much as we can. Motor Bros, we're currently working through a zoning issue with them, but we hope to keep them as tenants as that moves forward. But about $1 million a year in land, non-aviation land rents. Next slide. Commercial air service. Obviously, that's one of the places that we have shined in the last 15 years with our growth, going from 0 in 2007 to, like Ray said, a little over almost 2.3 million passengers in 2025 is something a lot of airports would kill for, and you know, something we work really hard to keep, and sometimes it's annoying, but we'll hopefully approve their contract later, and I've had a lot of sleepless nights over that one. But 19% rise, almost 20% rise last year. We broke the million enplanement mark, which is a big deal. We'll be probably the 90th busiest airport in the country once those numbers come out. So,
Do you separate business passengers from people going to visit mom and dad or
you know, we're probably 95% people visiting family, leisure travel. We're not a big business travel, and that's mainly because we don't have daily flights. Something Kaylee and I are pushing for, and I think with the new terminal coming online, or the new expansion of the terminal coming online, this year is the year that we have to get out there and really talk to the mainline carriers about putting some flights in here. And hopefully we can get one over the next few years. Next slide. So non-aviation revenues, terminal advertising is going to go way up. Kaylee? Yeah.
That's the plan.
You know, this was what we made from Corey and then Lamar. That was 20% of the total, so this year hopefully it'll be 100%, and we hope not to lose many. Obviously, auto parking and rental cars are our two biggest, and you know, we monitor those really closely because I think travelers are getting savvier and savvier, and they're starting to use Uber and Lyft to go off at the airport, rent cars, or take Uber from the house when they're flying out of here. So we watch those numbers. You know, our parking and our car rental numbers pretty close. Food and beverage really solid number this year, and we hope with the new terminal, with 2 new restaurants coming online, a Dunkin' behind screening, as well as a sit-down restaurant behind screening, and then another bar and grab and go. We think those numbers are going to increase dramatically over the next few years. Unleaded fuel sales, most of that is selling to, is that rental cars as well as ground transportation?
Primarily rental cars.
Yeah, mostly rental cars. So we sell them fuel at a slight markup. And ground transportation, that is taxis, Uber, Lyft, and Turo. And it's amazing. In the next, a few slides later, we'll show the breakdown, but it's amazing how much money we're getting from some of those. Let's go to the next slide. So total revenues, like I said, for car rentals, almost 7.2 million. Most of that is from Enterprise, as they are if you're booking a ticket on Allegiant, they're the ones that you can just click and book a car. So a lot of people do that, and because of that, they're our number one. But Avis and Budget and Payless are quickly catching up. They used to be significantly lower, and Hertz, the number 3. And we hope they're moving up. We do have a new rental car contract that'll probably be coming to the board in March. Yeah. So we had a 3-year agreement with them, and that's up, and so now we're back out. Next slide. This is the ground transportation slide, and 5 years ago, Uber and Lyft didn't show up, and Turo wasn't even something we had heard of. So taxis have really dropped off with the Uber and Lyft rideshare type thing, and I think we see that continuing. It's been difficult to get a single taxi service in here. We now have multiples again, just to keep a few taxis on the airport. But Turo is something we didn't deal with 5 years ago. We were the second airport in the state to get a contract with them. They were very hesitant to sign contracts. I think Tampa had to sue them and trespass them from the airport for them to even talk to them. We're getting 10% of gross, which is up from our original contract, but almost $200,000 from Turo. Who would have thought that people would rent their personal vehicles? And there's not a lot of personal vehicles, but anyway, that was the idea. So if any of you guys are going on vacation, you can rent your cars and make a little money while you're gone.
Do I have to clean it out?
Yeah, it's got to be clean. All right, but go back to that real quick. I just want to, you can see the increase in that from 230,000 to 360,000 in 3 years. It's just, it's not a big chunk of money, but it's amazing that, so much of that didn't even exist.
Yeah, it's going up, not down.
How do you guys track that?
Well, it's mostly the honor system.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Obviously, with Uber and Lyft, we do have geofencing, so we know how many go in and how many leave. Now, we don't know how many leave and don't pick up a ride. We charge $3, like it says, $3 per ride for the Uber, Lyft, and the taxis. By state law, we're not allowed to charge for drop-offs, which is really a more, it clogs up the curb a little bit more, so, but state law doesn't allow us to charge for that. All right, next slide. Monthly auto parking revenue, you guys see this every month, so it's not a big deal. Obviously, our parking revenues are highest in November, December, with Christmas and Thanksgiving, and then again in mid-year, July, as everyone wants to get out of the heat and they park their cars and leave. So, obviously our second largest revenue source is 5.6, almost 5.7 million. We have not raised rates in a while, and but we have a lot of parking on pavement. We have another 2,000 plus in the grass that we utilize during peak times. We monitor how much we really need. I don't see us needing to pave more. I have some staff that disagree, but you know, right now we're in the lull between the holiday and the spring rush, and we probably have 1,000 empty spots in the lot. So it's a tough one to justify $5,000 a spot to build more that sit 80% of the year unoccupied. But very good revenue, and of course, to get to our grass lots, you have to go through the revenue system, so you're charged for that. Next slide. You know, pasture-related revenues, these are a little nebulous because it's CFCs, PFCs, FAA entitlements. These are all monies that, you know, that are part of the ticket tax or the ticket itself. And then the CFCs is what we charge the rental car companies on top of their percentage that they pay us. And then the blue area, passenger-related operating revenues come from parking, you know, everything else that we've just talked about. But, you know, that number is the one we really watch, that 1345. We watch. Everything else is consistent because it's
Set by law. It's set by law.
Yeah, it's set by law, so unfortunately, I can't change the 450 to $8. That number's been set since 2000. Yeah. So the buying power of $4.50 has gone down a little in 25 years, but the FAA won't change it. Congress won't change it. So, you know, that's what we use to build terminals to fund the taxiways and a lot of other things. And the FAA entitlements, they go down as you get bigger. So we're at 361. I think if you looked at it last year, we're probably over $4. But as your employments increase, that number decreases per passenger. But, you know, $23 per passenger is reinvested back into the airport in taxiways, terminal expansions, runways, T-hangars. You know, that's where the bulk of the income is coming from. Now, obviously, the red and the green, the FAA tells us how we can spend it. Everything else is up to us, and you know, that's how we've been able to build the GA ramp, the GA center, and fund that without debt.
A question related to this, it's an allied question, but the Congress just approved the new AIP program. And I couldn't get into the details, but we're not in for any entitlement money.
We're always in for entitlement money.
Well,
we don't always get it.
Yeah, I understand.
But so the entitlement, discretionary money is the one that's harder to get. The entitlement money we get every year. That's the 361. Yeah. That's coming to us. Do we use it every year? No, sometimes we bank it and use it the next year. But discretionary money, that's not included in this. If we added our discretionary, last year we got $10 million for the terminal. The previous year we got $10 million for the terminal. I think we probably have at least $4 or $5 million in discretionary projects out there right now.
No earmarks.
No earmarks. We have tried.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. Nobody likes them, but I think they're pretty handy.
Our conservative representative does not like having his name on an earmark. We have put in a few. Last year with the full year CR, they did not approve any earmarks. We did put in a request this year that I don't think made it past. He approved a few, but ours did not make it past. All right, next slide. So this is the one I talk about the most, and last year concerned me a little because our revenues flattened, and obviously our expenses always continue to rise as we grow. But this year we were able to get our revenues a little higher and flatten some of our expenses. I think you're going to see that probably switch again in '26 because we did the The salary study, we did increase salaries significantly for a lot of our staff, but our total expenditure on salaries has gone up tremendously. But that's, that's probably the most important graph to me. That's something that Chad and I look at, almost daily. We look at revenues versus expenses. And as you can see in our report we did earlier, we're really trying to keep expenses down. There are a lot of things that are budgeted that we just haven't started yet until we can prove that the revenues are going to be there to support it. Operating margin, 20.9%, almost 21%. It's pretty good.
Very good.
All right, next slide. So airline contributions, and this number is going to change significantly.
Maybe.
Not as much as I wanted, but significantly next year. So end-of-plane fee, we call it a turn fee, but it's an end-of-plane fee. Their rent, their ground service fuel, the fuel trucks that they pay for, building rents, their 3 cents a gallon flowage fee. And keep in mind, we don't buy their fuel, so we don't have any credit risk on that. They buy their fuel, they put it in our system, and we charge them 3 cents a gallon. And then badging fees that all of our tenants pay. They brought in about $1 million last year with their new contract next year that the board has on the agenda. That'll increase. They'll be paying a turn fee, for a terminal use fee, as well as a landing fee. And that'll increase those numbers slightly. So we'll have 2 more items to show next year in that one. Projects completed. The staff doing all of our construction management has been really stressed because of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. We were fortunate to receive a significant extra money that we hadn't planned on. Now, projects were planned, but they were off in the future a little. But we were able to move a lot of that forward. Staff was able to handle it, manage it. We were able to get our contractors and our engineers to do the design. So, and then with Hurricane Ian, it moved a lot of things even further forward. So, maintenance and operations, a project that's been on the planning books for a long time. The new rental car center was drawn on the master plan, but we had no reason to build it until that building was damaged. The replacement building for 207, which allowed us to expand the rental car parking, we moved them to the north side, which is where GA is moving anyway. 101's replacement, which was also damaged during Hurricane Ian, that's a beautiful new building that's currently holding AirTrek, and when they move back into their building, we'll be putting another tenant in there. We have 2 that are interested in it. The fuel farm access road just lets us keep our fuel trucks inside the fence at all times. It also let us secure the fuel area a lot better by putting that inside the fence. Those fuel trucks aren't roadable. They're hazardous. If you drive them on public roads, you have to have a commercial driver's license and a hazmat license. So we like to keep them inside the fence. And the north side infrastructure development, that was a project that was funded by the state. That's the road that we built that'll serve the MRO as well as 3 other hangars. And then this also the grant that's paying for parts of the GA expansion. All right, next one, grants. So this is where staff has really excelled. 24.2 million in grants. Now we didn't get all the money, but we got the grants approved. The money comes in as you build things. But you can see there 10 million for the terminal, 8 million for and almost 9 million for taxiway alpha reconstruction. And all of our taxiways are these aren't paving, mill and overlays. We're tearing everything up, going down to sub-base, bringing it back up, more base, more asphalt. These were built in the late 40s, early 40s, and they just aren't withstanding the stress that we're putting on them.
What are you doing in this top?
Man, that's putting in concrete for the new terminal. That's one of the first pours for the terminal foundation.
A lot of people, a lot of men working there. Wow.
A lot of people. Once you start pouring concrete, you can't stop. So you got to have a lot of people standing around when it starts, and they're all working once it gets there. But let's go to the next slide. So some carryover projects that we're still working on this year. Obviously, the terminal, Alpha Charlie reconstruction, really we're painting. That project will be completed. CTC, like Brett said, we're doing the final walkthroughs on that and punch list items. The perimeter road, the forgotten project because it's happening out in the woods and nobody really sees it. The new ARF truck, I don't know how this happened, but we're flying to Minnesota in February to look at it, required by the FAA that we go out and do a visit. And then the inline baggage, that is about to go live, right? It's about to go live. They're doing some last minute security upgrades in there. And then they poured the sidewalk earlier this week. We'll be able to take that fence down hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and all the lanes will be back open and the walkways will be open. And that project will be at least completed for the first 4 phases, and then we move off into taking out the old system and then opening up 3 new hold rooms. Under construction, the Air Center apron expansion, that's another part of the FDOT grant that we got a couple of years ago. The FBO hangar is, like Brett said, going to start probably next month. Challenger Road improvements, that's the extension of Challenger to Piper that will let us close down a part of Golf Course and a part of Henry to get it out of the RPZ. 113 and Building 97 replacement, and then the master drainage plan update. That should be completed in the next month or 2, Mike, right? Just shake your head, Mike. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So cash, and we're going to be changing the way this is displayed. We just got to get that to you guys. But unrestricted cash, this is the cash that we have on hand that's not set aside for any specific things, about $17 million. In our internal reserves, now this is the money we put, when we increased rates in the parking lot, we started putting all of that into reserves. So we have $5.3 million. We spent some last year on new parking lot equipment. So we went from 7-8-year-old equipment to all brand new equipment. Things are running really well there, but it's because we had the money in reserves. Insurance escrow, we put money into that to pay any insurance deductibles, our air traffic navigation safety expenses. But the biggest ones are T-hanger and building, and we fund those pretty heavily through our income. You're going to see that T-hanger number decrease dramatically because we're putting 12 new doors probably every year for the next 3 years on the 600 series T-hangers, and that'll take out all of that this year, or a big chunk of that this year. Those doors are very expensive. They are more today than the entire T-hanger was when we built them. All right, passenger amenities. I wish I could let someone else talk on this one, but the TSA pop-up, the new Welcome Center partnership with the VCB and Punta Gorda, that's in the baggage claim. That's the lower right-hand picture. It just kind of puts all the paper and stuff in one location, and people aren't going all over the terminal to find it. Also a little bit of advertising and those new signs that Kaylee was talking about. The food trucks continue to be extremely popular. We've moved them out of the short-term parking and put them over between the rental car center and the terminal. It's working out really well. We had 2 inaugural flights this year. The one in the picture is New Orleans. I think we did Chattanooga as well. And Goodwill, we did a travel training day for adults and children with developmental issues. And it went over really well. We got a letter from one of the families that said, for the first time ever, they were able to travel because they couldn't get on the airplane, but they could go through security. They could see how everything is behind the, thing you never see unless you travel. And it really helped a lot. We're happy to do that. We're working with other groups to try and get people in here. That goes along with our comfort crew dogs that we have, and just things to kind of make travel a little less stressful. All right. So events for the year. Obviously, we do the Florida International Air Show. Unfortunately, this year we had a government shutdown, but we still had a very successful air show. The 2 parades that we do every year and our new float that I hope everyone's happy with. Ribbon cuttings, we did the rental car center, the M&O building, and then Suncoast Biplanes. We partnered with the chamber to have a ribbon cutting for them. And then in April, we do an honor flight. We used to do 2 a year. I think they're splitting us between Sarasota and here now. So we'll have 1 a year, which is good. They're a lot. And we also worked a couple of charters out of the FBO on Allegiant, and because of that, I think we're going to move the honor flight up there if we have one this year. It just worked really well, and I think it'll be less disruptive overall as we get busier in the terminal.
What's the idea of the thing in the Santa suit?
That is Curtis the Hawk. He is our mascot, and that was him in the Christmas parade. He has different outfits. You never know what Curtis is going to look like. Sometimes he's in a beach bum outfit. Sometimes he's in Santa.
Someone's got a good sense of humor.
We actually, that is a new question when we interview people. Have you ever been a mascot or a cheerleader? And you move to the top of the list if you have. Ryan had been a mascot, so that's why he's here now. And we hired someone that's named Curtis, so when we yell Curtis, he answers to it.
Thanks for the warning.
Promotions and marketing, that team has, like a lot of our teams, have grown from 1 to 2 to 3 people. The launching of our in-house advertising is really big and to me a little scary. We had guaranteed income. And now we're out there marketing, but so far they've been able to maintain probably close to 95% of our existing advertisers. And we'll have a little more control, which is always good. But PGD Buzz, like we send that to 55,000 people. And I think, we do a local one, a tenant one, and then a wide one that goes to everybody. And then, our cooperative deal with the VCB, we've been able to fund advertising for new cities, Chattanooga and New Orleans, and now Atlantic City, and then Sun Country, Minneapolis route. And then we target, we talk to Allegiant at conferences. They tell us what cities aren't doing as well as others. They all do fairly well, but if there's a city that they're considering dropping, we'll push our ad revenue, or we'll help advertise that city. And we did targeted ads to Flint and Cincinnati this year. And go back real fast. So on the right, that's part of our website, and you can see that the ads at the top are constantly changing. Obviously, that's not live, but that's what it looks like. And, you know, we're also adding now that search engine, so you'll be able to search for flights directly on our website. And as we add airlines, you will get more and more options through the airline search. It's probably early for us to do it, but you know, I think now's a good time. Might as well have it as a tool that we can use when we're promoting ourselves. All right, next slide. Employee highlights. As you see every month when we have this meeting, we have 5, 6, 7 employees that we're talking about. It is always exciting to have someone hit 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Heather and I, 20 years. You know, it shows that it's a great place to work, and I can attest to that. It's been a great place to grow in my career, and I hope some of the younger people, you know, can come in and grow their careers here. But this year, we did our compensation and classification study and implemented the pay increases that were included in the budget. We have started a new employee engagement committee, just kind of when a new person comes on, they can get together, go around, meet everybody, learn about our benefits, you know, both through our health care, but there's a lot of other benefits to working at the airport. We do our wellness and benefits fair once a year. We have started an internal newsletter, the Pulse, that goes out. We also have screens in all of our break rooms that are playing information about our benefits, about, you know, Aviation Gives Back, a lot of things so people are up to date as much as they can be. 131 total staff, 76 full-time, 50 part-time, and 5 seasonal. Up slightly from the 15 when I started. And that is it. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer. We will be putting this into a booklet form so that you can have with you when you're speaking or when someone talks to you about how many employees do we have. You can flip to that last page. When they say, why doesn't Allegiant pay anything? You can go to, well, they do, and we get all this other money. So a lot of good information. We tried to change the format a little this year, but it's hard to change it. This is the airport, and so. Any questions?
One thing with the happy place, I like that. That should be a good thing, big sign.
All right.
Okay. Any old business?
No old business from me, sir.
Nothing from the commissioners. Moving on. Item 14, AeroCloud, Common Use Passenger Process System. Mr. Parrish.
Ray, you want to talk about AeroCloud? We talked to you a little bit about it during the budget. AeroCloud is a common use system that we're implementing at the airport, but I'll let Ray tell you all about it.
Thank you, Mr. Parrish. So last year, we implemented gate management software as well as new bids, FIDs, and GIDs, which are the gate and flight information displays that you see throughout the terminal. That system was our initial start with AeroCloud. They also offer a common use passenger processing system. What that means is all of the computers at the gates and the ticket counters would be common use. We would own and operate those, maintain them, and basically as an airline representative, you would come up, log in, click on your airline that you're working for that day, and all of the branding changes behind you at the gates. It basically brings up that airline system for you to operate as if it was their own equipment. What it does for us is it allows for us to then market to additional airlines that we have common use here. So any airline could use any gate or any ticket counter position at any time. So it really opens us up to be able to attract and service additional airlines in the future. This was budgeted for in the IT budget for this year. It's about a 4-month lead time, so what we're trying to do is get the equipment in that would be in place in order to open up after season with the additional gates that are coming online in the baggage handling system project.
So how many, for lack of a better term, stations will there be?
So it's at the ticket counter right now, there's 16 stations, and then there's currently, because we're under construction, there's 2 positions at every gate counter that we have, so it's basically 1 per gate in the back. So as we expand, we would add the positions. This is to purchase both the equipment and the software to operate it. The equipment will be here and ready to be in place as we open up through the construction project, the additional gates.
So are we purchasing it where we'll own it and not lease it from the corporation?
Correct.
So if it breaks down, are we going to be responsible then?
No, they have in the agreement, and I'm not sure if that was provided in the packet, they provide all of the service, warranty on the equipment, any upgrades, things like that. So as equipment changes or whatever, they would replace it over the period of 5 years, which is the agreement. After that, we would have to re-up or switch to a different system if we'd like to. Currently, the air carriers provide all their own equipment. So in the case where we have right now Sun Country and Allegiant operating at the same gate counters, they both have to have a computer, a monitor, their own bag tag printer, their own ticket printer. It really creates a lot of space constraints at those gates where we have both of them operating. So if you can imagine attracting 1 or 2 or 3 more airlines, having to have them all set up their own computers at each gate, it just wouldn't work. There's not enough space there.
Does this track baggage as well, like from the check-in counter to, putting the baggage through to the gate?
It doesn't track the baggage. It will provide the ticket stock and the bag tag stock. So the baggage handling system actually tracks the bags through the system as they're checked in from behind the ticket counter.
Delta and some of the others that you can see where your bag is at all times, Allegiant doesn't do that, but that would be a separate system on their end, so.
So are we going to have access to the analytics behind it, or is it just solely for the airport or for the airline?
There is a reporting module with the system, so it'll tell us, I'm not sure how granular it gets on the information as far as cities and pairs and things like that, but it'll tell us how many passengers, bag tags, and all that real time. So right now we're waiting for reporting from the carriers. We'll have that information a lot sooner.
This type of system 5 years ago was probably 10 times this cost. The cost to run it has really come down. We looked at it a few years ago and said absolutely not, but it's to the point now where it's really beneficial to have, and the cost isn't that much. We did add an IT guy this year, so part of his job will be, we don't have to maintain the equipment, but if it goes down, obviously if a printer goes down, we'll have to have someone swap it out. So.
Mr. Chair, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve 14A as presented.
House? Go ahead.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Now for the interesting part.
So we had our emergency meeting, so I could get you guys the contracts so you could see them. Obviously our attorneys, both our local attorney as well as Kaplan and Kirsch, helped develop the contract.
Thank you.
Sun Country had signed theirs earlier, and that is ready to be signed. Allegiant last night approved our rate structure after significant negotiation. Obviously, Allegiant or Sun Country operates differently than Allegiant, so if you look through the rates, they're paying a completely different rate per turn than Allegiant is. Now, Sun Country pluses up, now that they're going to be Allegiant in a few years, so that won't happen. But if they did get to that size, their rates would match. We are basically, we have to be consistent with every similar carrier. So we negotiated with Allegiant, we negotiated with Sun Country. The contract that I gave you is really close to what we agreed to with Allegiant. Some slight changes happened yesterday for them to approve it. Just to give you an idea, what we had agreed to, or we proposed, our final proposal to them was about, and these are estimates based on them not growing. So basically taking this year's flights and continuing it for 5 years, zero growth, about 3.5 million over the 5 years in terminal use fees and landing fees. The final that we agreed to last night is 3.5 million. So we don't have their signature yet because we need to modify our contract and send it to them today. But I'd like to get approval from the board to execute Sun Country's today, and then Allegiance once we get that back from them.
So Sun Country is ready to sign
Sun Country is
as the contract that we have been provided prior to today.
Yeah. And Allegiance is the exact same contract, just literally one number changed, the first year number.
And how will the acquisition or potential acquisition affect Sun Country?
They would assume Allegiance contract.
The terms would still apply
Yeah.
for the Sun Country portion? Or
Basically, if they continue flying as Sun Country, they would stick with their Sun Country contract. If they could fly as Allegiant, they would just go to the Allegiant contract.
Okay, I have a couple questions and some comments and things that I'd at least like to be reflected on the record. In our workshop, we came down to basically 73 cents a passenger. Okay, what does the new rate come to?
Year one, so we agreed to give them the discounted rate based on previous year's growth, which they can get every year. So year one has gone down to 66 cents, then year two, 81, 87, 91, and 100, or $1.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is what you're proposing today is $3.5 million over 5 years.
Yeah.
If I look
zero growth.
Zero growth. If I look at your State of the Union message, Allegiant last year paid us $1,094,000 a year. Now, if there's no growth and that stays the same, you're looking at over 6 million versus the 1 million versus your 3.5 million.
Yeah, the other numbers don't change.
I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah.
Well, just to add some clarity too to that $1 million, this is Chad. That also included their rents as well that they pay us, which is separate from this agreement. So all the building rents that they have, that was rolled into that $1 million that Allegiant pays. So this is separate from those property rents.
As the fuel flows.
Yeah. So this is basically new income. This is, when people said they didn't pay a landing fee and they didn't pay a terminal use fee. This is now getting us a little more normal, and it was hard when Kaylee and I would talk to Delta. They're like, "What do you mean there's no fees? How much is your landing fee?" I'm like, "We don't have one." It is going to be easier to market to airlines
because they understand this.
They understand it. Yeah.
And like in the industry, I'm old school. I wish we had a compensatory contract here, but I understand the business contract we have, and over the years I've been convinced it kind of works.
It does work. I mean, you can't deny a 22% return works. Now, the reason I wanted to do this, and I'm sorry,
that's okay.
I'll let you talk.
We
have new expenses, and So I went to them a couple of years ago and I said, listen, we're going to have to change a little bit because we need to cover some of our
Police,
new
fire,
expenses. And so we originally went to them and said, okay, I want to cover this, 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 and this. Like every negotiation, one side freaks out. We go back and we massage things. I would have liked to have been a little higher, but I'm comfortable with this as a 5-year contract. The airport does see some new revenue. We'll be able to cover some things that we've been covering with rental car revenue and other revenues. Now we'll be able to cover some things with airline revenue.
You know, it's interesting, like from the seat I'm in, and if you look at the state of the airport and you look at the $1,094,000 that we got in revenue with all those numbers put together, and then you kind of go back into the program and you look at what you get from T-hanger rentals, you know, which is like $1 million, if I recall, it's like $1.5 million, and you start thinking to yourself, God, you know, you got this in T-hanger rental, and we're building $75 million worth of terminal expenses, and there's no contribution by the airlines and all that. And I guess what I'm saying, bottom line is, they're getting a great deal here in relationship to the quote-unquote airport industry. And I go back to my comments in the workshop that our negotiation team came to an agreement, their negotiation team came to an agreement, but when it went to corporate management, they said, no, we're not going to pay that in PGD. And I think I think I know where it's going, but my personal opinion, I'd rather stay where we were during the workshop. But it is what it is.
You know, during the workshop, I presented basically double this year in terminal use. If the contract was in place, they would be paying this amount because they would have gotten the discount for the growth. That was kind of our, you know, they came back with 0 this year, and I just, for the terminal use fee, because of construction, because, you know, that was, and I went back to them with this. I would like to get 1.5 million annually from the airlines for the use of the terminal and the runways and taxiways. As long as we have one dominant carrier, like, you know, Atlanta bends to Delta, and we have to at least negotiate with the one who we dance with.
And I understand, you know, from a community standpoint, we got great airline service and all this kind of stuff, and you know, Allegiant is in the position to say, hey, we don't like it, we're going to reduce your service or pull our service and all that. I really don't think that would happen if you consider the amount of money they're taking out of this airport on an annual basis, $400 to $500 million a year, and we're getting $1 million. So I just want to throw that out. The staff has asked us to consider approval. Each one should be done separately as far as the agreements are concerned. And
Mr. Parrish, it seems, I mean, $3.5 million over 5 years, or I think you said 3.35 is, you know, is a lot of money. But over 5 years, you know, when you look at the present value of the dollar, it's really not a whole lot of money. Are these costs, or are these fees they're paying? I know we've put a lot of money and resources and investment into rebuilding and restructuring and expanding. Are these going to help cover the cost moving forward of what we are going to have to maintain what we just spent millions and millions on?
So the only unknown that we have, and we have the option in the contract to go back and modify it, is the baggage handling system. we're looking at probably $100,000 a year in electrical cost, and then just the maintenance and management of it. We put in our initial proposal to them, $450,000 a year, with them covering, you know, their share of it, Sun Country covering their share of it. We've massaged those numbers. I think that is probably the one place that if we have to do something, we're going to have to institute a back fee in the future. But we have the ability to modify the contract based on that as we see those. Now, keep in mind, you saw the numbers for rental cars and parking. That's where we make our money. So, you know, as the passengers grow, those numbers grow, and that's how we've always funded our operation, is ancillary revenues.
All right, now, it's my understanding most airports have some kind of rate resolution for the schedule of the rates.
Some, not most. Most
Okay.
are by contract. Most negotiate contracts. Some of the bigger ones have, because negotiating 30 contracts is cumbersome, they do rates by resolution, where they set a rate. Basically, you have a resolution that sits on top of a contract, and everybody, this is what you do. We need to do a little more research with our FAA council to do something like that. I don't think it's a bad idea for us to do it in the future, especially as we get close to the end of this 5 years, and Lord knows that'll be faster than we all want it to be. And I hope all of you are on the board when that happens, so we won't have to explain it all again. But I think in the next few years, we may look into rates by resolution. We need to add a few things to our rates and charges, like our landing fee, so that is just updated annually.
Well, from my perspective, I think the rates by resolution could be important, not only for negotiating moving forward, but also as new airlines are potentially considering coming in, we at least have something to fall back on, but subject to, it can be changed by contract as well with an airline.
So we have to look at, can you have contracts and resolution set rates? And that's one thing that I'm not sure of. I do think our new contract is a standard contract. Before it was a 3-page, now it's 30 pages, which as an engineer drives me insane, but the attorneys love that.
It's more money for them.
Yeah. They charge by the page.
No, they charge by the word.
Don't point at me, Jack. Hey, listen, my contracts used to be like 2 paragraphs. They're now 9 pages long.
So, you know, our contract spells out all our fees. So, you know, once we approve this will be the contract we would take to Delta, Eastern, Piedmont, who are some of the other airlines that don't exist anymore.
It's kind of interesting, if you put it in the terminology of the youth, this is that 6-7 thing.
Thanks, Bob.
We have a recommendation from, what was that, council?
So I suggest we move on.
Yeah, we're going to 6.
Did you ask to speak, or are you just throwing it out? Okay.
And Mr. Chair, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve 14B as presented.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we've discussed C, so discuss them together.
James, are you expecting any additional negotiations moving with Allegiant?
No.
Because I know that, okay,
I got an email and a phone call last night saying that
that they're
agreed.
good to go.
Yes.
We just need to modify it a little bit.
I got basically modify it based on the numbers here that I've given you guys, the cost per plane passenger. Send it back to them, and then they'll sign it.
They'll sign it, and then we'll sign it?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'd like, you know, as this thing says, authorize the chair and myself to sign a 5-year agreement.
And we'll also need the resolution on Sun Country contract be?
What?
We've already approved the Sun Country,
they just-
so we're all set.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
set with that.
Okay.
So we still need a motion and a second.
So I'll move to approve item 14C, that the board authorize the chair and CEO to execute a 5-year airport use agreement with Allegiant Airlines commencing January 1, 2026.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Negotiating contracts is the least favorite part of my job.
Well, you're an engineer. What do you expect?
I know.
Okay, moving on. Item 15, any public comments? Anyone like to address the board on really any concerns they have or things that we'd like to consider? Yes, sir. Come forward, identify yourself.
Hi, my name is Kurt Bischoff. I live in the neighboring community in Ventura Lakes. I wasn't planning on saying anything this morning, but very disappointed to hear from Mr. Thornberry that this roundabout that they're talking about at the end of Piper Road is going to be delayed another 2 years. I mean, that intersection is a death waiting to happen. People coming from the airport and going towards our community, making a left-hand turn, are risking their lives every time they, and I don't know, obviously I'm speaking to the, beating up the messenger, but anyway, I don't know if you have any ability to address the powers that be. I don't know what could possibly be done to push that anywhere back to where they can get this thing done any sooner. Obviously, you're talking about all the expansion that you have here, so that means that many more cars coming to pick people up, dropping people off, and the traffic is just getting unbearable. Just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in. As far as the extra money for Allegiant, parking here or doing whatever you're doing, what are the chances that their $56 ticket is going to be $57.50? I mean, obviously, they may just pass that on to the consumer. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
I just want to comment, I'd be happy to convey those concerns to the MPO at the next MPO meeting, and of course, more than welcome to speak. That would be even more effective at the MPO meeting.
Okay. Seeing no one else coming forward, Commissioners' comments. Commissioner Leskovich.
I think I wrote down all of the names here. Katie, Glenn, Curtis, Nicole, Tammy, Wesley, and Giorgio. Thank you for everything you guys do for the airport here, and congratulations to you, and promotions and accomplishments and degrees and everything else. It's nice to have hardworking folks here. Mr. Parrish, my question for you is, I know that you wanted to take off the agenda the presentation on the restaurant. I'm assuming that's going to come back up at some point.
Well, this was a restaurateur that wants to give the presentation, and
Okay.
they were just not ready.
Just not ready? Okay.
So we're hoping next
Okay.
month they'll
All
be
right.
ready.
All right, I just wanted to make sure because it's been sitting there for quite some time.
We are trying. We probably show that twice to 3 times a month to people. It's a very big space, and it's just tough to get somebody to think that it's going to function. So it's definitely top of the list for us. And I said we were going to make a decision in January, but we're going to push that off because we have someone who seems to be very, very interested.
Okay. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Summerall.
Same thing, congratulations, and everybody keep up the good work.
Mr. Thornberry.
Ditto, thank you, staff, and all of our new employees. And I just want to clarify, I think when I was speaking on my report about the Henry Street, I think I might have said a roundabout. That's actually a cul-de-sac. Sorry,
Cul-de-sac,
caught that. Also, is there an update on, I meant to ask this during my report, for Mr. Gurham to give a presentation in the MPO?
We're going to let him do that next month. I I didn't want to do it with the state of the airport. Just longer.
Okay. And I'm glad we got where we are. I'm a little bit reluctant on my vote, but I'll just put that on the record. But I think we need to continue that relationship by all means going forward at this point with what we have. And I'm not sure how long we can say Happy New Year, but Happy New Year, everyone.
Commissioner Coppola, anything?
Just thank you all for being here. It's nice to see the crowd getting bigger. The community is coming in to listen to us, and we appreciate all of you being here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for coming. I've said enough. And with that, meeting's adjourned.